Welcome into the Charlie Rymer podcast. We talk about golf, life, and pretty much anything else that we get to. And today I'm thrilled to be joined by John Cook. John has 11 wins on the PGA Tour, 10 on the PGA Tour Champions, one of the nicest guys that you'll ever meet. And he's my good buddy, and that's the most important part. Cookie, I appreciate you taking out some time. So Cookie, what's going on with PGA Tour champions, in particular with Phil Mickelson and Jim Furyk coming out, and they are absolutely on fire. Looks like they're going to win everything in sight. Is it that easy?
Oh, man. Charlie, it's not that easy. The talent is incredible. I mean, through the whole tour, you've got, hundreds and hundreds of wins throughout the PGA Tour careers. So to have Jim Furyk come out, win his first two events, to have Phil come out, win his first two events. It's only been done one other time in the history of the PGA Tour champions, and that was Bruce Fleischer. So, to have them come out, it's kind of an anomaly, but it's great to have them out there and supporting the PGA Tour champions. Charlie, you've been out there. You know the vibe out there.
I understand that. You're on the north side of 60 now. Obviously, you're in great shape. You work a lot on the telecast out on PGA Tour champions, but you still get around the golf course really well, too. And for our folks that are watching and listening, what's maybe a couple of keys that you've had since turning 50 to stay flexible, to stay fit, to continue to play excellent golf?
That's just it, Charlie. When I turned 50, I could feel my body wasn't quite right. And if I was going to be an impactor or play well on the PGA Tour Champions, I knew I had to get in better health. My body needed to be stronger. So I got to work with a gentleman a doctor out in Newport Beach, Dr. Tim Brown, and his system. And we started working on mobility and flexibility because we've spent all of our time hunched over and getting smaller and shorter. So when I learned how to do that and got onto that program, I could just feel my body start to lengthen out just a little bit.
Yeah, as you described that, I'm sort of trying to correct my posture here in my chair. I'm going to sit up a little straighter.
We spent all our lives hunched over like that.
Yeah.
So we want to go the other way.
But can you give me maybe one example when you say you're working on lengthening the spine, and maybe just one example of how you go about doing that?
You can get on that big exercise ball and just lay on your back and put the ball kind of between your shoulder blades and just move around and just let your shoulders kind of hang off, and feel pretty much like those shoulders are just lengthening,
opening up the shoulders. Yeah,
exactly. You got to get opened up.
But I worry about that exercise ball. Last time I tried to get on one of those, I popped it. So that's not a good sign. But the thing I want to close with, there's something that happened to me as I was sneaking up on 50 with the putting. You think about, you got to lose distance. You worry about flexibility. Is the ball striking gonna go? I could sort of figure out how to hit it. But putting, to me, at some point after sneaking up on 50 or just turning 50, what is the approach that you've used towards putting as you've gotten a little bit older?
That's interesting, Charlie. I've always thought of myself as not a streaky putter. I was a good putter. I made an absolute adjustment going, okay, I need to put another wedge in the bag. I need to have a hybrid in the bag. And you know what? I need to hit the ball a little bit closer to the hole and kind of change my approach to the whole game. You've got to shoot 4 or 5 under par every single day. You got to shoot 12 to 15 to 18 under par for 3 days to win these golf tournaments. So I had to be better, getting the ball closer to the hole, but also taking advantage of those opportunities. So I worked really, really hard on those 10-foot and in type of putts.
Yeah.
And I really tried to train my eyes again to feed that information. Let that golf hole feed that information to me. Instead of trying to worry so much about a stroke or worry so much about mechanics or what type of putter I was using, I really started to focus on that hole again, whether it was speed, direction. I would really focus in on that hole. And when I got my eyes back to the hole, and like we know, he called it the run and shoot.
Yeah.
When I played basketball, it's just like shooting a basket. Let that rim and let that net give you that information on where you are and how hard and what kind of shots you want to play. Well, same thing in putting. I let those eyes go back and I freed up my stroke And when I was doing that, I putted my best.
And the way I'm reading it, and again, going back to why you've had such a long career, you didn't change who you are. You didn't necessarily change the technique. You just sort of adjusted your game plan and changed your approach a little bit.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's the case in golf as we get a little bit older, and that's the case in life as we get a little bit older. When you get to be all right, you got to simplify and get down to the basics and do what's important and let the other stuff be a distraction to somebody else. John Cook, you're a great champion. You're a great friend. I appreciate you spending time with us here today. For more of this interview with John Cook on the Charlie Rymer podcast, go to playgolfmyrtlebeach.com.